Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today, and recently Overwatch celebrated its 1-year anniversary. As someone who's played Overwatch at the very minimum on a weekly basis, most times every other night, I figured I'd share why I'm still playing the game over a year later, considering I've tried so many different multiplayer games and they'll keep my attention for a couple weeks, maybe a month, but then that gamer ADD kicks in and you move on to the next title. So for me, I thought to myself, what has kept me invested in Overwatch for so long? And I discovered 3 core pillars that have kept me coming back, and if you guys are still coming back to play Overwatch, I'd like to hear what you think in the comments down below. The first thing is competitive mode. I've tried playing Overwatch by myself, both in competitive mode and quick play, but if I'm quite honest, it's just not the same when you're playing by yourself. But if you get a team of friends together and you dive into competitive mode, it is a blast. The constant communication, setting up team ults together, winning matches, getting the SR up. There's just something truly satisfying about that level of teamwork, especially when matches get incredibly wild and you'll be at a stalemate for so long, constantly battling the points. There will be so many heroic moments during the game itself where someone will take a 1-on-3, survive, keep staying on the point until the rest of the team gets back there. It's the type of game that makes or breaks friendships where you'll end up getting into arguments over it. I've been in plenty of them. But yeah, the first thing that always keeps me coming back is competitive, because the second the competitive season ends, just like when season 4 ended, I stopped playing Overwatch for a couple of weeks, and to be honest, that was a good thing, because when I stopped playing Overwatch, the amount of games I beat in that span of time is insane, because Overwatch eats up so much of the other game's time. I have about almost 300 hours in Overwatch, which is pretty noodles for me. Yeah, I just fucking said noodles. Anyway, competitive play, that's the first thing. Number 2 is the additional content format. I don't think I would have been coming back to Overwatch nearly as much if they kept the game as is and made me pay for future DLC. But considering the fact that Overwatch constantly gives out monthly free content is exciting for me to come back to, because there's new maps, there's new modes, there's new heroes. On top of that, we're getting new skins, new emotes, etc. And yes, I don't like the loot box system all that much either, to tell you the truth, because when we have what happened with the anniversary update where Blizzard murders us with a ton of extra content, everyone gets new emotes, tons of new skins. What happens is when you open these loot boxes, sadly, you're not getting all the new items you're looking for because there's so much to sift through. With that said though, I'm still highly appreciative of the continuous free content, and especially at the fact that these skins, these emotes, don't impact the skill level. They're just merely cosmetic, so you don't need them at all. They're just something to pimp and show off to your friends. I really do hope the games industry is taking a hard look at what Overwatch is doing. This isn't a common thing for a game to be so popular 1 full year later, and in fact has probably grown more since then. It is more popular than ever. And I think that is largely in thanks not only to its excellent community, but the additional content support from Blizzard and their close connection to their community to continuously give what players want. Especially the hero tweaks that come in constantly, always reworking how the game is played so you don't get too comfortable with one hero, forcing you, if you play competitive a lot, to master multiple heroes across the spectrum so that when someone gets heavily nerfed, you can always switch to someone else. It's this constant rotating wheel of heroes and you're always swapping out for different ones. And mind you, I think my enjoyment of this game says a lot, because as you can probably tell by my aim and also the buttons on screen, I'm playing on consoles. Overwatch is mainly a PC game, but I've been playing it on console the whole time because that's where my friends are. If I played it on PC, I'd basically be by myself, so I opted to play it on console with all my friends to keep that team play going, and I haven't regretted it at all because it's such a good time with everyone. The third pillar to what keeps me coming back to Overwatch is its contextual storytelling. While Overwatch, I really hope one day does get an actual story mode, especially with the Uprising event, which told a legitimate story through a horde mode and showed that an Overwatch story would be really good. The contextual storytelling that you get through the interaction of characters in the beginning and during matches, things you see in the map, little pieces of art scattered about, comics, lore on the website, etc. I love this type of storytelling for the Overwatch universe. I said this in my review, and it still stands to this day that it's the only game I find myself remotely intrigued enough to go outside the game, to watch maybe those animated shorts, to invest myself in those comics. These are things that are normally tedious for other games, but Blizzard has such a well-crafted universe and they give enough in-game to make me curious, to make me think, what happened here? And then when I start reading up about it online through all these various sources, it becomes all the more interesting, all the more engrossing. It makes predicting those monthly content updates exciting because I'm in on the loop and fully engaged with the lore of this Overwatch universe. My fingers are severely crossed for some short type of co-op campaign or something along those lines, something that is akin to a full-fledged story mode. I think Overwatch would really benefit from that. I think a lot of players would come into the game for that, but also the game is constantly growing, mainly because it's a multiplayer game. It's just a fun game to play in general as well for those who aren't heavily invested. So Overwatch manages to cover every type of gamer in its spectrum. And for me, those are the 3 core pillars as to why I'm still playing Overwatch a year later. I know people out there are like, oh, Team Fortress 2 clone, yada yada yada, but I tried Team Fortress 2 a while ago and I just didn't like it. And this is well before I gave a damn about Overwatch, because I didn't even know about Overwatch until I bought it on launch day because my friends were telling me about it. So do me a favor and tell me why, if you are still playing Overwatch, in the comments down below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, those links are in the description down below, and do consider supporting my Patreon. It helps fuel all the content we create here. Other than that, stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.